Oh, we did do sound speed. What? Are you trying to look at yourself? I'm not taking a real picture.
No, you are.
I'm just checking my hair.
Cute.
Wow, we look pretty good.
We look really good. We're cutie patooties.
And
Are we rolling?
Scene one, take one, Marcus.
who's watching what?
Ahsoka.
What the hell is that?
Anime, I'm guessing.
Do you guys live on a different planet than me?
Is it anime?
I don't know.
What?
Ahsoka is Star Wars.
Oh, duh. We know
Ahsoka is
that.
Anakin Skywalker's Padawan, and she has her first live-action series on Disney+.
That's coming out right now.
It's out.
Literally no one asks how my Padawan's doing, and
You're what?
my Padawan.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Is that Star Wars too?
Yes.
You're a Star Wars head?
I mean, listen, since the Eras Tour in America ended, I need something.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of beefing with her at the moment.
I know you are.
We can get into it in a second. I've never been more invested in like girl drama I could be anyone drama, but like Hollywood drama in my whole life. Like it added a whole new layer to me caring about Olivia Rodrigo that never existed in my life beforehand.
I cried for the girl, but do you want to talk about other things first?
Yeah, definitely.
Can I start this off with something that's not even on the docket?
Yeah, of course.
You got a haircut.
Of course I
You
got a
got a
haircut.
long haircut.
Well, I have to.
How are you feeling? Do you feel like Princess Diana?
Well, it depends on the day and how it's looking and how it's styling. Sometimes it falls right into place and
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't look good at all. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to wear a hat. But the thing is with the long hairstyle, the sides of my hair grow faster than the top of my hair.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make it so the top grows out, is long and like meets the sides.
Right.
So it's not just like I have a bunch of long side hair
That we could like
that
braid.
this isn't caught up with.
I think it's cute.
So we're working on it. I'm trimming just the edges of the like top
Yeah.
to get it to promote growth. So we're working on it. We're
Hell yeah.
finding like which way we're going to swoop, if we're going to go back, what we're going to do.
I love it. I need a trim.
How are you guys?
You know.
Lizzie's, you seem well today.
I am feeling well today.
I'll give you that. Come on, honey. They love when you're here. Come on.
Hi, baby girl. You want to come sit with me?
Come on, mama.
Come here,
on.
mama.
Up,
Come
up,
on,
up, 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 up.
Prove that you exist, honey. Quick.
She's like,
She was never
"No."
there.
Oh my gosh. She's stuck in the house.
Oh,
Okay. Bye, honey.
So I woke up at like 3 a.m. and then you know how like when you wake up at 3 a.m. and you have to wake up at 5 a.m. eventually you're like, well, there's no more time for sleep. And then I just sat and waited for 5, baby.
Are you kidding me?
Woo!
There is nothing like knowing you have to catch an early morning flight and then waking up and you're like, well, if I go back to sleep, it's never going to wake up. I'm never going to wake up.
It was awful. And I had a hard time going to sleep because I put on Steel Magnolias because I thought it would put me to sleep. But Steel Magnolias had the same effect on me as like a war movie. So I was up crying till like midnight. So I'm like caffeinated and she feels like blessed, never stressed. Finished my vlog on the flight here with this sweet old man who would not shut the fuck up and stop talking to me about how his wife saw Jesus Christ outside their window.
What?
And the next day when he went outside to check in the alleyway where Jesus Christ had been, he saw that there was an indent in their recycling bin. So
Jesus had been found.
I'm just saying it's nice to believe in something. And before that, this guy was scaring the fuck out of me because he wanted.
And that's what calmed you down?
Yeah, well, because I'm like, he's crazy, but he's not like crazy, you know? Like, he's a good God-fearing man.
Did
Anyway,
you not have AirPods to just like...
I had my headphones on and he was talking to me with my headphones. I had my headphones on. I had my laptop out. I'm literally actively typing on it, filming my outro on the fucking plane. And he's like, so let me tell you. It was wild. But at first, like, he was like, do you hear that vibration? Like a fluttering coming from the side of the plane. And I was like, no. And I don't need to be made aware of these things, sir. So he'd like wadded up a piece of like official like Southwest airplane reading material and shoved it in what he thought was like vibrating. So I became made aware of it because the flight attendant came over and was like, sir, what the fuck are you doing over here? Because it's spooky. It's a spooky thing you're doing. It's raising alarm. It's causing attention to be brought to
Especially
you.
on today of all days.
On today of all days.
Which I didn't want to mention until you
Yeah.
were here.
Well, Chris didn't even know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he's been running at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then it was an early flight, so it's probably best you didn't know that today, the day of recording is 9/11, which
Lizzie told me.
Because never forget.
you told him on the plane.
Lizzie told me
before we
as
got on.
right before we get on the plane. Lizzie tells me, and I'm like, why would you tell me that?
Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't
You
I?
can't just let the poor man just like breathe easily
I
until
don't
he
know.
lands.
It's a gnarly day. We all went through something that day. It was crazy. Do you remember where
I mean,
you
some
were?
of us way less than others, but
I mean,
yeah.
obviously, some of us way less
Yeah,
than others.
no,
But
I,
it was.
I
you know,
vividly remember it was a day off school for me, and I was riding like a Razor scooter in the front yard when my mom came out and was like, this is going on, and then like,
she came out and got you.
yeah,
Gnarly.
and then we were all just watching the news in disbelief. I mean, how old were we at that time?
I was 11, so you were probably 10. Because you're a beautiful young boy
Thanks.
of only 32. Are you even 32 yet? Yeah, you're 32, right?
Okay.
Did you remember? You don't know
What do you mean? Remember?
your age.
No,
Oh,
no, I didn't.
That's what I
Where
was
were
asking.
you?
I was coming out of the shower after the first one had hit. I was coming out of the shower to go to school that day, and I remember watching the TV as the second plane hit, and just being like, "What movie is that?" And my parents were like, "That's not a movie." It was, and then they brought us to school,
nightmare.
and we all sat in the gymnasium.
You went to school after that?
And we all sat in the gymnasium. And I'll never forget, I was walking to school and I saw this girl that I knew, and I was like, "Hey, like, did you see?" She was like, "We've all seen." And I was like,
Whoa.
"Fuck me, Carly."
She's calling her out by name. Do you want to
If I
drop a
could
last
remember
name?
this bitch's last name, I would. But literally, me and my other friend from high school were like,
11-year-old
"What was
girl.
her last name?" We were talking shit about, because also later on in life, I would get super drunk in college and then be violently hungover the next day. And one day, I just thought it'd be really funny if I friend requested her on Instagram until she approved me, because I guess it's not that funny. But I would rapid fire request her, and she would rapid fire deny me.
Oh, so she hates you.
Yeah.
What did you do to her?
I don't know. We had a play date one time and it was good, but she's always kind of been an asshole
Did
to
you
me.
try to kiss her or something?
No, it wasn't gay.
What were we doing that was gay this weekend? Oh, from Selling the OC. I was like, you got to watch Selling the OC. It's just like Selling Sunset. And there's a new Chriselle in town. And I'm like in love with this woman. And Lizzie was like, yeah, she's so hot. And I was like, I'm glad we could be lesbians
I was
together.
sitting there drinking my fake champagne with my dogs after a swim in your pool. Like, that woman is hot.
So hot.
Alex Hall.
If I was straight, oh.
I mean, I'm straight and I'm like, ugh.
Just beautiful. Like
Really stunning
all the
woman.
curves in all the right places.
And a good face.
It's like Selling Sunset before Selling Sunset came. I mean, some of the drama storylines do feel a little fabricated.
Yeah.
But it is like, I feel like Selling Sunset before it was so...
hungry.
I mean,
that
hungry,
nasty?
but also like self-aware of the
Right,
success and what's
right.
going on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And then like Chriselle, like God bless her, she's doing her own thing, but like she's not the Chriselle I once, and not even because like her lesbian journey, just
Mm-hmm.
like it's not necessary. And people change. You can't pigeonhole somebody to like how you first fell in love with them. And I still love Chriselle, but I feel like Alex Hall is like my Chriselle 2.0 in
pure.
the OC.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see a different, well, I'll get into Selling Sunset or Selling the OC in a little while, because I wanted to hit on like a talking point that you don't have to watch to weigh in on.
Okay, I'm excited.
But I do ship Alex and Tyler.
Are they together? Are they together? They're kissing.
Okay, you got to watch the rest of the
Okay,
season.
I'll tune in.
But Tyler is currently, well, while the season was filming, was in the middle of a divorce with Brittany Snow.
Got it.
And I don't think Brittany Snow liked when the first season aired and all of these girls were throwing themselves at her husband.
I wouldn't.
And then he was now like somebody that was like a real estate agent,
Mm-hmm.
like whose dad is a real estate agent, and he like followed suit. All of a sudden he has like this voice and this present and is sharing
TV
the
show.
limelight
And
with
he's hot.
her. And like, of course, this is all me speculating, but
Yeah,
it
but if
is
you don't, who
interesting
will?
because like it does parallel Selling Sunset in that Chriselle got a divorce from Justin Hartley, who was the star of This Is Us, which was
Mm-hmm.
a wildly popular show at the time. And that divorce also kind of played out on Selling. And they are bringing in a lot of the same archetypes
Right.
and characters, or at
Right.
least the characters that they're creating in the production and post-production of the show.
I noticed that as well. Some like from what I did watch, I saw like I was like, you're that character. Like there's a Chelsea on this
Yes,
show.
there's all of them
Yeah.
are on the show.
Yeah.
And so it's very fascinating, but I like the visual porn of it all, of course, and just like people. I
I
like
do have to say the properties make me fucking sick to my stomach. The
in
fact
the
that
OC.
yeah, there's this one house in the OC. It's like all stacked up on each other. It's basically what would you call that? Like there's no property. There's
It's
no
basically
backyard.
a townhouse, but it's
Yeah.
a full blown home.
But No front yard, no backyard. Huge sliding doors just open onto this busy fucking street. $9 million.
It's because you're like 1 block away from the beach, but it's like you're paying to live like where you can touch your neighbor outside of your door for $9 million.
Like,
and it's
no,
just
thank
like,
you. No,
I
ma'am.
thought LA real estate was wild.
When they said that, I was like, and they're like, this is a coveted house. I was like,
and
for
of
who?
course,
For rats?
I don't know. I even love Alex Hall's house. It's just like out of.
I didn't see
You
it.
might not have gotten there. She
didn't
was
get there.
also texting me TikToks while she was watching it, and
Did
I was
you
like,
watch
"How
any
can
of
you
them?
pay?" No, I was so mad at you. I was like, "How can you pay attention to the visual porn that is selling the OC if you're sending me TikToks?" And she's like, "You're right. I'm not paying attention." I was like, "Well, then don't pay attention, and I'll find somebody else that likes selling the OC."
Do you want to watch the TikToks right
No,
now?
I don't want to watch the TikToks.
I think they were funny.
Okay, we'll watch them at the end of the show.
Okay.
Stick around for Lizzie's favorite TikToks
We
of
forget.
the week.
What's next?
Should I just get into the talking point of selling the OC since we're already
Yeah,
here?
we're here.
Okay, so basically, the Alex Hall, the Chriselle of the OC, is like really good friends with Tyler, who is like has not finalized his divorce with Brittany Snow.
Right.
So this other woman is upset that these two are touchy-feely before
Yes.
the divorce is finalized.
Yes.
She's like, is the ink dry? And they're like, well, no, it's not dry, but like they're getting a divorce. And this other agent in the office is like, well, this rubs me the wrong way because I'm for marriage and I'm for like the union of a marriage. So you being in his life in a way that's more than friends, even if you haven't kissed, is too much for me. And that's like the storyline of the whole season where
Well,
she's
she
like,
thinks it makes the whole office look trashy.
get over yourself. What do you think you signed up for when you are on a reality show
I mean, I don't
about a
know.
real estate brokerage? And I just feel like you would have never been involved in this storyline of them had you not inserted yourself in the middle. I understand she said, well, one of my clients was talking about it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, seems like your client lives for the drama. And I don't think your client's dropping you because of the drama.
No.
Seems like they want to know the tea on Brittany Snow's ex-husband getting together with this bombshell that is Alex Hall.
Yeah, I also think that the woman who brought it up is the drama. She's the drama. That's the only
And
drama.
I
She's
understand
literally
her mom just passed. So she's
Great.
like grieving
Yeah.
at a 20. But I don't think, and she acknowledges that multiple times, but then she stands firm in her, like, I think you're, she's essentially calling her a homewrecker, but it's like, this is Tyler's life.
Yeah.
If he is if it's not her, it's somebody else. And if the marriage is over for him and it's just the legalese has not been sorted through, like that's his choice. And he knows if his marriage is over or not.
Yeah.
Like and if she wants to get involved, I don't think she's being a homewrecker if it's public that they're getting a divorce.
And then the craziest part that I saw, at least, was she pulls him aside in the office and sits within earshot of Alex and uses Alex's first and last name multiple times while shaming him for having a relationship with her. And I think this is before they even kissed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it's like, well, if you don't want drama,
People are just
bitch,
speculating.
don't do that.
I know. So that's one of the infuriating storylines throughout the whole thing. And they like never seem to be able to resolve this, but I just wanted your way in as well. So you think if somebody's getting a divorce, but it's not finalized, I mean, they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want.
Well, that's how I feel about all things. You're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. And I'm going to have a judgment about it. It's not my place to share that within earshot of you because who fucking cares what my opinion is of you and the way that you live your life. But I don't think that this is something that brings shame to the company.
But then all these girls, like, there's like a trip to Cabo. They all start turning on Alex
Right.
Hall and acting like she's this monster. And I'm like, to
She
me,
didn't ruin the marriage. The marriage was over before Alex Hall stepped up.
but then they're like, it's how you're talking and everything. And I'm like, I think all you bitches are jealous that she's the star of the show.
Yeah.
And she's dating the other star, or not dating. She's flirty with the other star of the show. And you guys know every storyline is about her.
Yeah.
And that's what you got. That's the subtext. You guys are mad that she's the star of the show and you're not. And it's working for them to like create these drama storylines because then they get shown in the show. And you see these other real estate agents that don't start drama.
Yeah.
They just don't have a storyline and they just exist every once in a while in the background.
And also, but like also, who fucking cares if they're
No
flirty?
one.
Who fucking cares?
And
I'm more upset by that girl that goes door to door knocking and then starts talking about sex with strangers in their houses after she lets herself in. That is wild to me. That is wild to me. Hold on. What? You didn't have an appointment at this man's house?
It's a great watch. I know like this is the top of the show and we're talking about I know it's not a niche show, but I don't
Yeah.
know if everyone that watches the show watches.
I mean, I did enjoy what I saw because it was upsetting and that gets me involved.
And
did we introduce our show?
No. Hello, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Sip. I'm Ryland Adams, of course, joined by...
Lizzie Gordon.
Hello, everyone. Let's talk. Okay, Chris, how was your travel day?
It was good until I knew it was 9/11.
Oh. Yeah, when we were booking it and it was really the only date that worked for everyone, I was like, oh.
I had no idea. I was sitting there eating my breakfast, which was surprisingly good for airport breakfast.
What'd you get?
I'm
it
so
was
jealous.
avocado toast with eggs on top. It was
He
tasty.
got Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I got like a dry, crusty, dusty fucking...
This is at Burbank Airport?
Yeah.
Guy Fieri has
Yeah.
rolled in?
And he's at both terminals. You can get Guy Fieri at United and at Southwest.
Damn, mama.
Yeah. And guess who didn't get Guy Fieri?
Of course you.
An idiot. A redheaded moron sitting beside you today.
So are you starving?
No, I bought a fucking crusty dusty burrito from some kiosk on the way up there because I was like, I don't know what they have to offer and I don't want Wolfgang Puck shit.
Yikes.
Devastated.
Okay, Chris.
But it was so good and it was so nice. And then Lizzie sits down and then she's like, well, like, you know what day it is? And I'm like, what? And you're like,
Never forget.
9/11. And I was like, what? Should we be flying? Are we safe? Is this okay? I was like, oh no. And I got really scared. But we're okay.
Do you remember where you were?
I do. My story is not too dissimilar from Lizzie, where I don't know if I got into the shower, but I was getting ready for school. I came downstairs. My parents were watching the TV. One of the planes had hit already. I didn't understand what was going on. My mom explained it to me kind of tearfully. And then I went to school. We were in class, the first class of the day, and my teacher was like, through tears in his eyes, like stopped the class and was explaining what was going on. He's like, I feel like this needs to be addressed before we go on, and like explained
they
it to
still
all
did
of us.
classes at your school?
Yeah.
Our classes were it was in middle school and we all got pulled into the assembly room and we watched like the news and like sat in there together for a long time.
We still had class.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember classes picking back up either. I do remember like all of us walking into the gymnasium though.
I don't remember if later on in the day we did that, but the first period or whatever it was a normal class, but the teacher did that, and the first half of the class was just that, and like it was like heavy. It was one of the heaviest days.
Still is one of the heaviest things. It's wild.
Especially
Yeah.
at such a young age. Like that's one of the heaviest things
Yeah.
I remember happening.
My memories of the day are very like unclear. I remember right when it happened and where I was when I heard, but then it's like,
I mean, I remember down to where I was standing when I saw it on the TV. Like I know where the TV was in the room. I know where I was standing in the hallway, kind of outside the living room looking at it. And I remember saying it. I remember like the shampoo I used, like...
we all know I don't have the best memory.
So you even remembering that you were on a scooter is a big deal.
In the front yard of what house? Yeah, I do. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I remember some things.
Yeah.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Lumi, and booty BO sounds funny, but having it not so much. And I know from personal experience, and that is exactly why I'm excited to tell you about Lumi, the world's best whole body deodorant. It's clinically proven to control odor everywhere, pits, privates, and beyond for a whopping 72 hours. They have scents like lavender sage, minted cucumber, and peony rose that smell delicious. Lumi was created by an OBGYN who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Unlike some deodorants that try to mask odor with a fragrance, Lumi is actually formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts, more like a pre-odorant. It's aluminum-free, baking soda-free, and paraben-free, plus it's pH balanced for safe use below the belt. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi Starter Pack with code SIP at lumideodorant.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit lumideodorant.com and use code SIP. lumideodorant.com, use code SIP.
Oh my God.
Oh, what?
My pants have holes in the butt.
So?
And I knew it when I put them on this morning.
You were being wildly inappropriate to me when you got here, and I loved it.
What do you mean?
Lizzie was begging me to. Oh,
Wait, what?
What just happened to
Wait,
you?
what?
you wanted to post it.
What just
I
happened
thought you wanted
to
to post it.
What just happened
you wanted to post
I
it.
was sharing with you my my hole in my pants trauma, and you just out me on national television?
It sounded sexual.
What the fuck?
Normally, I'm the one being inappropriate. And so then I was like, ooh, I should out her because I thought we were going to post it somewhere where we could profit from it before we both have kids.
Here's the end of my hole in the pants story. I knew there were holes in these pants, so I thought I'll wear huge black underwear. So I'm wearing huge black underwear, and the holes are not where the underwear is.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's devastating, huh? Isn't that fucked up? Can you believe?
Don't have different leggings?
Not Lulu's.
Is this all you brought here?
Yes. You know it is. No, I brought full outfits. I'm here for the night, baby. We dress it up.
We going out, girl.
We going out,
I
Daddy.
don't know that we're going out, but
No,
could.
we're going nowhere. We're going to the Heritage Cafe twice. Probably Target.
Okay, managing. Let's talk about what you don't have control over.
Everything. Don't get me started.
Well, yeah, we had a pretty dark call this week.
Right.
I mean, and we don't need to go into the details of that, but you're just going through it a little bit.
I would definitely say that, oh my God, like I was dying. Like I was dying. Like I don't know how to say, like my for at least, how long was that? Like 3-4 weeks? How long have I been a psycho? 3-4 weeks?
Yeah.
Like a month? My heart hurt in my chest every day. And I was violently anxious. And then I started being awful to everybody.
And were you just putting too much pressure on yourself on top of some things you couldn't control externally?
I put pressure on myself to want this thing like to get pregnant really badly. Just like, I'm going to say here and now, like, I'm not going to talk about it on the internet anymore.
It's probably not safe.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk about it on the internet. And I'm not going to talk about my pregnancy journey on the internet at all. But no matter what, like, I was so fucking excited.
Yeah.
And to take a negative pregnancy test was so fucking awful. And I know that I haven't been trying very long, but that doesn't diminish how much I was believing and putting in that basket. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. I understand 100. I mean, I can't get pregnant myself, but I understand through like our trying and everything and the excitement I felt for you. Like we were also
I bought everything to tell
as
you.
though you were, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not saying that you won't. And it was so you found out you're ovulating and then that was your very first try, but it doesn't make it less devastating.
And it was an interesting kind of devastation because it's like I've experienced loss before and I've experienced like extreme emotional pain, but this was like I was trying to explain it to you. I felt like I was in trouble. Like I felt like I was in big trouble. Like the cops were knocking on my door because I killed someone and drove away from the scene of the crime. Like big trouble, which I didn't understand, you know? Right. And I still don't understand why I felt like
your body
I was in
in like fight or flight.
I don't know. But it was an interesting distinction between like general disappointment and like that version of anxiety. Mm-hmm. But what shifted in my brain that is something that, you know, a program that I work pretty heavily in, requires me to turn everything over to a higher power and to admit that I am powerless in everything. And I accept that in only as far as it pertains to my alcoholism. And I was only thinking about it like, well, I don't want to drink. And it's like, right, bitch, but no matter what, you're still an alcoholic in this life. So everything you do is the product of an alcoholic mind. So if you don't turn 100% of everything over, you're still withholding control, and that's not letting God like lead the way or a higher power, whatever you want to call it. Right. Mine's Ellen Ripley from Aliens. Anyway.
And in this case, it was getting and being pregnant.
It was that I could control that, first of all, which is laughable today for me because you can't. Like I had a regular general consultation with a doctor that wasn't like a fertility appointment or anything because there's nothing wrong with my body. There's nothing going on there. But she was like, honey, everything you can do everything right. There can be nothing wrong with your body. There can be nothing wrong with your husband's body. And it could still take you 5 fucking years.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then when I was like, all these things sort of start clicking, you know, like I'm upset. I'm physically uncomfortable. I'm not behaving in a way that I want to behave.
Your body's also stressed out to the max because you're putting it through. And I understand, I mean, the want and the need and because once you have baby fever, it is this thing that you're like, okay, like I'm ready in all these other ways. Like because for you held off for a long time to get ready in a lot of other ways. And now that you're ready in all those other ways, it's like the actual getting pregnant was like the thing where you're like, okay, we're just going to do that and we're going to get pregnant.
Yeah. Give me my baby. And another thing I realized this morning is just like a sense of entitlement. Like I'm entitled to anything in this life, which is also laughable. Today for me is laughable. But all of those things made me feel physically bad. So it's like if you had like a gut wound and you're walking around, like of course you're going to be fucking awful to people. You're bleeding out and you got to deal with that. So then I realized like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then when I don't know what to do, there is one thing that I remember, which is just like there is this piece of literature that I can pick up that says all of the things I should do instead of what my knee-jerk emotion is. And that's the prayer of St. Francis. So it's like, you know, the pieces I do remember, it's like seek rather to understand than to be understood. Where there is doubt, bring faith. So it's like, I have doubt. I want you to understand me. All those things that my knee-jerk response is to have. I have this sheet of paper where I can go, oh, column A is bad. I just have to do column B. I don't have to understand it. But I do know as a person who's used this before, when I do that, I feel better.
And it's also the better you feel, the less stress your body is under, the more likely I think if you're happy in your life and you're having fun having sex and your body's, I mean, I'm also not a doctor and that's not the answer completely, but I do feel like stress is like when you're super stressed, that's when like people will start gaining weight because you're like holding on to all these bad, what is it? Cortisol?
Oh,
like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, but I'm just saying like stress is a killer. And it's like if you're stressed, your body's not going to do a lot of the things you want it to do.
And why would I want to work actively to stay in that space? Why would I want to keep digging a hole?
Right. But I understand how it's such a mind fuck of a journey that it's like, it's almost impossible to not, because it is something you're so excited about.
Yeah.
But then you also have to be like, okay, it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. And then it's like, it is this like, it's this hard thing.
What helps with the entitlement that I'm feeling is just acceptance. And it's sort of like this mantra that I have in my mind where it's like, nothing happens in this world without design. Like nothing's an accident.
Yeah.
And I do believe that. Sorry, I feel like I'm having a private conversation, but and I do believe that, and that's so fucking liberating.
But I also know that you're gonna have a baby, you know, and like I do believe that you will have a baby, but even if for some reason 5 years down the line your body isn't able to produce the baby, there's so many different avenues and so many different lanes that like you're gonna have a baby and it's gonna be however it's meant to be.
And no matter what in the present moment, like I'm so fucking grateful for everything I do have.
Right.
Like I have 2 beautiful dogs who are dumb and amazing and fucking swimmers. Okay. They are fucking Olympian swimmers.
I don't know. Icky hates nothing more than the pool. And you're like violently ruined. Your body's ruined.
Covered in bloody scratches.
So like because of Icky's like his previous back injury that he's now recovered from, they had suggested swimming for the dogs to really make it's physical
strengthens
therapy.
Their body,
And so we've been trying to get Lizzie's dogs in. Well, now you've been trying since I haven't been at the house, but you've been going, and Icky just like destroys her body because he's so uncomfortable in the pool. But Bubs is like a little fucking Olympian.
Bro, Bubby Phelps.
Wow.
Yeah. But we brought a tiny piece of French fry into the pool. And when I had the French fry, Icky followed me no hands on Icky. He followed me in circles. He was swimming circles around me.
And then once he's comfortable and he knows he can get out and where to get out, he'll start to enjoy it.
He almost jumped in for the French fry. So that's the secret.
Riley's my only dog that wasn't hesitant at the beginning. Like Uno, it was a process for Uno. Uno had to watch Charlie, which is Shane's mom's dog, for a long time before he would get in himself.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Oh, I was just looking at the docket.
Oh. You're depressively networking again?
Desperately.
What did I say? Depressively. I thought that's how you were like healing wounds.
No, desperately. No, I had like another scare. Well, like just to be like, it doesn't matter. I went through a darkness.
I know.
No, you don't know how dark.
It was pretty dark when we talked.
Yeah, and then it got darker.
Before it got better?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I started. I don't even know if you can handle the truth.
Okay.
I started looking for jobs at Amazon shipping warehouses.
Why?
Because just to be a little bit more.
You have a YouTube channel and you have the podcast. And like, I know that I was, because it like.
It's literally a big part of my life, though, is supplemented by randomly PAing, and that is dead.
Oh, because of the strike and everything.
So I started desperately networking. First I started looking for jobs where I'm like, oh, this is a job I could do, which doesn't require a lot of mental work on my part, and I can just listen to whatever I want to listen to all day and just get the job done. But honestly, I feel like Amazon should start striking.
Why?
Because that job sucks.
I mean, I think a ton of stuff came out about. I mean, a lot of people hate Amazon. Yeah. And then Amazon.
They're paying their shipment center people $17 an hour for 13-hour shifts, and they don't pay you for your lunch. And then on top of that, if you want to make 95 cents more, you have to work 6 p.m. to 6:30 a.m.
Damn, I can't believe they can find people to work under those working conditions because it's so hard to find employees at the moment.
Yeah.
In-N-Out starts at 19 in the Valley.
Yeah.
Well, Is there a little pre-claimer under that's like for management positions?
No, In-N-Out pays $20 an hour. When I worked at Press Juice, it was $20 an hour.
No, you made $20 an hour
Yeah,
there?
I did. I made $20 an hour at Press Juice.
And that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, maybe it was 15. Who cares? That's still only $2 less than a fucking...
Damn, I knew I loved In-N-Out.
Yeah. But I couldn't work at In-N-Out. I'm a fucking idiot. I need to just be able to put things in slots.
Today's podcast is sponsored by HelloFresh, and with HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You skip those daunting trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. And when it comes to options, honestly, more is always more, and that's why HelloFresh's menu includes over 40 recipes and over 100 add-on items to choose from every single week. From easy, time-saving breakfasts and family dinners to kid-approved lunches and snacks, HelloFresh has what it takes to keep everyone, including you, happy and satisfied. And what I love about HelloFresh is that you know you're getting top-notch produce since it travels from the farm to your doorstep in less than 7 days. I'm always using HelloFresh, especially on those busy work nights where I need something healthy and delicious, but I don't want to think so hard about what I'm going to make. I can follow these recipes and have a delicious meal made for me in 30 minutes. So go to HelloFresh.com/50thesip and use code 50thesip for 50% off plus 15% off the next 2 months. That's HelloFresh.com/50thesip and use code 50thesip for 50% off plus an extra 15% off the next 2 months. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. You know that feeling you get when you finally find the thing you've been searching for on the internet after spending hours and hours of researching and reading thousands of reviews? You finally find it. It checks all the boxes and it has 5-star reviews. Oh, and it arrives in just 48 hours. So why is it that you can get the most random, wonderfully reviewed thing from around the world to your doorstep in just 2 days, but when you want to see a good doctor, it can take forever to find an appointment? Thankfully, there is a way, and it's called ZocDoc. It's a place to find and book great doctors who actually have amazing reviews, many with appointments available in just 24 hours. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, who are located near you and treat almost any condition you're searching for. The average wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is just between 24 and 48 hours. That's it. You can even score same-day appointments. Once you find the doctor you want, you can book them immediately with just a few taps. No more waiting awkwardly on hold with a receptionist. I personally love ZocDoc, especially being between 2 states. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what doctor to find when I throw out my back or when I have crazy sinus issues, and I have personally used ZocDoc to find a doctor, and it's been incredible and so helpful. So go to ZocDoc.com/thesip and download the ZocDoc app for free, then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/thesip. ZocDoc.com/thesip. Okay, I thought this was a nice segue into our first hot topic. Lizze was violently exploring the possibility of being what are their fans called?
A J-Bro ho?
Oh, well, you called it a J-Bro ho.
What did the Jonas Brothers fans call themselves, Chris?
Oh, I don't remember. Let me look.
Also, I think this entire last few sections of our conversation might indicate that I am bipolar as fuck.
What?
Does this not sound like mania and depression?
I mean, you've had very heightened emotions. I can understand.
How am I not pregnant? I'm acting so pregnant.
A lot of people on the last podcast too was like, Lizzie's being so crazy. She's definitely pregnant.
No,
Which
guys,
like,
just a little meant to
and
be.
I don't think it's. I know a lot of people will be like, it's rude to speculate somebody's pregnant, but I can't even blame anyone with the way that we were discussing how you were pregnant.
I literally was telling people like, no, like I texted my friend's husband, I'm pregnant until proven otherwise. And I was only reminded of that psychotic text because I sent him a picture of my dog's paws because he won't believe that they're pink. Stupid. Okay. He's an idiot.
Riley also threw out his or Uno. I mean, how are all of our dogs like boom, 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 throwing out their
hindquarters,
pulling legs and
weird.
backs and stuff? Because it was your dog,
yeah.
Icky, then my brother's dog, Charlie, and then Uno. I took him out like right after dinner. I took him out to go to the bathroom, and then he went down, and what I thought was a seizure like wasn't a seizure because he was like very conscious, and it was only in his hind leg. And then he's like also screeching in pain a little bit, and so we're like, what the fuck is going on? And then he didn't want to walk up the stairs, and then I realized it was like either his back or his leg. And so he'd pulled something, either playing with Riley, playing fetch, or he's just like getting a little bit older and like he ran too hard too fast at something and hurt himself. So now he's all drugged out, and I'm like trying to keep him still on anti-inflammatories. You thankfully brought CBD for him, but it's just like,
it'll be a game
on?
changer because he'll just chill.
They used to be called Jonatic.
What?
Jonatics?
Genetics.
Jonas Brother Addicts. Genetics.
No current name. Says a couple of articles. Genetics? Is that real?
I mean, says a couple of articles.
Could
You're
you-
going to ask him to Google something, and then you're
No,
going to
I was
question
going
the
to tell him to
validity
text
of
Morgan because
Googling.
Morgan was a genetic.
She still is, I believe. Did she tell you she's retired?
From being a genetic?
Yeah.
No, she didn't tell me.
So
she
I
was-
think she's currently a genetic.
I was texting Morgan this morning and
I don't know about what you were texting her this morning,
About
but
the Jonas Brothers.
when Lizzie was violently texting me about the Jonas Brothers, I was like, Lizzie, please, I don't care, and I'm never going to be a Joe Broho. Can you please text my sister, because I knew she grew up with them, and I just will not go down this journey with you.
So I texted Morgan and she was like, you need to, I said, Morgan, I think I might be a genetic. And I need to, I don't know how to find my way. And then she's like, you need to watch Camp Rock 1 and 2. And I was like, on it. So I watched Camp Rock 1 and 2 while editing my vlog. I am not for the Jonas Brothers.
See, and I think,
am not a J Bro.
Well, and that's what I think is like, that was her shit when she was probably what, like 9 or 10 at the time?
She was a Kevin girly.
It still is, I believe.
Yeah, crazy. I get being a Kevin girly in 2023. I do not get a Camp Rock 1 Kevin girly.
Like, I understand people's love for them in the current moment. Like, their tour does look like they're putting on a good show.
Yeah.
It's just not like, I know like 2 of their songs maybe.
I have
Burning Up and Red Dress.
Right.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah. No.
Those are two different songs?
Is that the same song? Who cares?
Who
Not
cares?
us. Here's the deal, though. I actually went from being like, am I a J Bro ho to I don't like them. I know.
Are you Team Sophie Turner?
Oh, yes. We are Team Sophie in our house.
Oh, what's going on? Are there new details?
Dude, okay. So Nick gives me the fucking ick, bro. Nick gives me the ick. I'm fucking mad at Joe Jonas. I think he's I think he's a bitch ass, first and foremost. And I stand by both those words, bitch ass.
Okay.
The only person I feel for is that poor guy, Kevin, because they sort of straightened his weird curly hair back in the day. And that was a fucked up thing they did to him. And they also made him play a buffoon for years. And I think Kevin might be the sweetest one.
Okay. My problem with them is I always felt like they weren't telling the truth about something, and that doesn't have to be their sexuality. It just has to be like inauthenticity. And that's why I think people like gravitate towards YouTube so much, is because you're like, I mean, I know people still curate things on YouTube, but you're getting more of who they really are than like a curated like big branded picture. And
Right.
I've always just, my like bullshit meter has always gone up a little bit when I see things from them. I'm like, they're lying about something. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, I just don't trust it.
Yeah.
So that's why I've never been like all in. Like, I can appreciate one of their hits when it comes on the radio. Their show clips that I've seen on Instagram, because she started texting me so much about
Sorry.
it and talking about them around me. They like now come up on my For You page, and I'm like, God damn it, Lizzie.
My bad. I saw Nick doing like a conversation with some guy about a song that he wrote, and like the lyric of the song is something like, she passed and hit the gas or something like that. And the caption on the video was like, what do you think this song is really about? And in my mind, I'm like, obviously it's about farts. And then Nick's like, it's a fart joke. I put a fart joke in a very sincere song. And he said it with that delivery.
You think they were writing their music when they were that age? I think they had like 20
honestly,
producers
if you listen to the
from Disney
lyrics, I
Channel.
bet they were.
Okay. So then you said, obviously, Sophie and Joe split. They put out their amicable statement.
Yeah.
And you said you're so glad you didn't get married in your early 20s, but I also would have married Joe in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So what's your talking point there?
I guess Sophie Turner was very young when she married Joe Jonas. Like, I think she's 27 now. They got married 4 years ago. So she was 23 when they got married, and she immediately had 2 children. And, I don't know, like I wasn't like alone in my 20s. Like, I met Joe when I was 24, and but we didn't
Wow,
move
I
in.
think I met Shane when I was 24.
Oh yeah, we met them at like the exact same time.
Okay.
We met them at the like literally the exact same time, I think. Or no, you met Shane like a year after I met Joe,
Okay.
because you're a year younger than me.
Yeah. But no, I agree. Like, I think, I don't know if it's an LA thing, or because you go into the middle, like in like where I went to high school, or like in Utah where I grew up, it's like a lot of people are married at 20 and pregnant, and they're like popping things out. But I'm just like, I'm glad for me personally that I took that time to like discover who I was before, because I changed so much even from 20 to 25. And then it's like, I'm glad I stayed engaged as long as I did. Not that I was ever questioning the validity of Shane and I's relationship, but it's like, there's no need to rush, in my opinion. And then
No, 'cause it's
especially
forever.
when it comes to like getting ready to have kids, it's like, well, I don't want it just to be like, oh, I'm in love with this person, I'm going to have babies with. I want to like make sure it's the right thing. I'm in the right place and it's the right, you know?
Yeah.
So I do feel for them, especially with the kids involved. That is very hard.
I also think that like what you were saying, like your 20s are such a struggle, that I think that's where you really learn who you are and you build your threshold for all of life. And if that's intermeshed with like a serious partner, I don't think you get the strength or the lesson.
Or if you've, and it, like, I think a lot of people like me, I wanted to wait until I like seriously dated someone, until we were such like go-getters for our careers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, until I got like a contract at Clever where I knew I was making a good salary and I had a job, I wasn't ready to look, because I wanted to feel like I could bring my full self to the table, where I'm not just like, I don't know when I can see you, because I need to like wait tables at 3 restaurants and I have this in the, like, you know, it just wasn't conducive, which I know you can't like plan your life
And wait.
and where you are, but they had both found success, because she
was-
already successful when
Yeah.
she had met him?
Yeah,
because
she was Game of Thrones successful.
and he was already successful. So I guess they were, in hindsight, like a lot older. They probably felt a lot older,
I'm sure,
than
yeah.
they physically were,
Yeah.
because they'd been adults for so long and working in a professional industry at a high level for a long time. But still, whew.
Yeah.
Are you ready for all this Olivia Taylor drama?
No.
Girl, I felt deep. And I know that you guys were sick about Taylor, but like,
This is new. This is different. Things have changed.
This is different. Like, this is completely different. Because,
Olivia Rodrigo, just for the record, in case you guys aren't familiar.
yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
they're familiar even if you don't know her super well. Driver's License was
Yeah.
the biggest hit over coronavirus. Deja Vu, Good for You.
Good
I mean,
for
all
you.
of these great songs. She won 3 Grammys. Her sophomore album just dropped.
Did you listen to it?
I've listened to all of the songs that are seemingly about Taylor Swift, which seems to be most of the album at this point.
I bought Guts because I buy all my music, and I've been listening to it on a fucking loop.
And is such a diehard Taylor Swift fan, and now a diehard Olivia
I
Rodrigo
always
fan.
liked Olivia Rodrigo.
But that's the thing, is like, me too. Like, and listen, I'm going to talk about all this stuff, but I don't have facts. I don't know what's going on in their real lives. This is all my speculation for fun because I couldn't get enough of what I was seeing with my own eyes. I was just like falling down this rabbit hole and it was making more and more sense. And I was like, what the fuck? So I'm going to bring you in on the timeline.
If you're a Taylor Swift fan, sit down.
You can still be a Taylor Swift fan.
And
I'm
I
still
am.
a Taylor
And I
Swift
am, but
fan.
I'm saying sit down, girls.
Sit down, girls. And if you're
And
not,
I still love Taylor. I will always love Taylor. And I cry and my heart breaks.
I mean,
Olivia.
listen, I'm following Taylor. I'm following Sabrina Carpenter. I'm following Olivia Rodrigo. I follow all of them.
I
so
follow
like,
none of them, but I buy all their
it's
music.
contradictory, whatever.
No, you're like Switzerland.
Yeah, I enjoy all the girls for what they are.
Yeah.
But I also am going to divulge into this drama. Okay, so in April of 2020, when Olivia was on a popular Disney Channel show but had not taken off as a songstress herself, she was publicly praising Taylor Swift. She posted a cover of Cruel Summer that Taylor then acknowledged. Taylor reposted it with like words of gratitude, and they went back and forth for a while just like praising each other. And then in January of 2021, Driver's License had like
Went viral the second it hit the internet.
and so then it passed the Evermore songs on the charts. So Evermore had come out at a similar time. Evermore had 2 songs that were 1 and 2. Driver's License surpasses it, and Taylor congratulates her publicly. I think she even said like
My kid or
my
something,
baby,
yeah.
and then Olivia was like freaking out publicly, just saying like, I'm going to change my name legally to Taylor Swift's baby. And they were just like, the fangirling was mutual. And then in March of 2021, Olivia was on a Sirius XM radio show, and she said, quote, I got a package from her, Taylor, with this handwritten note, and she gave me this ring because she said she wore one just like it when she wrote Red, and she wanted me to have one like it. And all of this amazing stuff. She like hand wrapped these gifts. I truly don't understand where she finds the time.
Can I interject really quickly?
Uh-huh.
On the docket, Ryland has written in all caps important next to that item.
Because we're going to circle back to that.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to give you the timeline, but I also have things that I've uncovered that I haven't seen anyone else yet. And this was kind of breaking in real time yesterday. I know like maybe diehard people have been following this story, but I feel like news broke yesterday when The Grudge came out off of like when people started putting 2 and 2 that the
when
Grudge
the people
may
heard
be,
the album.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now I'm saying then it took a couple of days and now all the news articles are writing about it.
Right.
And then I opened TikTok, which I never do, to see things. And I was like, oh, people aren't talking about some of the things that I'm putting together. And I'm like, I'm this little
she's a
serial
sleuth.
investigator. Okay. So May of 2021, the 2 meet at the Brit Awards. Olivia freaks out. They take a selfie together. Olivia posts it. The night before, Taylor's famously, or I don't know if it's the night before the Brit Awards, but Taylor also famously sends her flowers that Olivia acknowledged her for. May of 21st of 2021, Sour, Olivia's debut album, is released. And on it, Swift and Jack Antonoff were credited as songwriters on a song called One Step Forward, Three Steps Back. She said, I was in the car on a road trip when I got home and I decided to sing it over the chords of New Year's Day, which is a Taylor Swift song. She said, I think they're really beautiful chords. And I was lucky enough to get that approved by Taylor and her team. So it's on the album now. And so Olivia, while songwriting, admitted, like, I loved that. I went to their team. They approved this. All good. By September, everyone was criticizing Olivia Rodrigo. Like, it was all the hot drama. I remember everyone's like, this song's stolen from Taylor. This song's stolen from Paramore.
Just to be fair, though, like, I noticed those similarities, and I know jack fuck about all music. So
Right.
if you're hearing the similarity and it's that distinct, it's like...
And I think it was heavily inspired by, obviously, which is why she then radioactively gives credit to these people and a huge songwriting or a huge percentage of the money as well.
Well, that wasn't just Olivia's choice. That was enforced because it was deemed to be too close to that.
Well,
track.
this was, but Olivia did give her the percentage before a lawsuit was ever filed.
Okay, got it.
And so when everyone was criticizing her about this, which fair game, like it was, this is also in a lot of music though. And Ed Sheeran goes to bat over this time and time again. And Ed Sheeran often wins because he like proves music theory and that there's only so many variations of chords and stuff.
Well, also, like, Olivia Rodrigo is supery. Been up since 3, guys. She's inspired by these people. And what she is
she's very
doing...
public about it.
She's
She
very
tells
publicly
everyone.
inspired by these people, which I think is beautiful. And her shit is unique. And it is authentic to her. And her lyrics are specifically
And
dope.
I think she thought she was doing the right thing because the one that she blatantly did that to,
Mm-hmm.
she sought out approval before the album was released.
Yeah.
Okay. So then when everyone's criticizing her after the album's out, she gives Paramore and the writers of one of Paramore's songs percentages for Olivia's Good For You. And she gives them 50% of the royalties and songwriting credits. And it's alleged that with every song that she's done this for, she's lost at least 1.5 million. So we're talking at least 3 million, if not 4.5 million, you know? Okay, so then Olivia did open up about this criticism after going back and giving them percentages. She said, I just feel like sometimes there's so much noise and criticism. I hope people know that deep down, all I do is write songs and talk about how I feel, and that's the most important thing to me. A hard thing for me is to grapple with is when this whole thing started happening is just anyone can start saying anything. You just can't control it. She trails off before adding, that goes for anyone, like girls going to high school. So I do think this point's important. In December of 2021, the Recording Academy includes Swift and Antonoff as nominees for Album of the Year for their work on Olivia's album Sour, and then removes them, citing label error during the submission process. So because Taylor and Jack were submitted or whatever, credited on it, they gave them the nominees. If we know anything from Swift's documentary on Netflix, she acknowledgement from her peers is important to her. Like, she has everything in the world, but like, she did want the Grammy nominations, and she does want to be notified for her work.
Well, they were also credited for multiple songs on the album, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
And so then in April of 2022, Rodrigo does win 3 Grammys for Best Pop Vocal Album, Best New Artist, and Best Pop Solo Performance. Everything dies down for a year until Swift announces Sabrina Carpenter joining the Eras Tour for multiple tour dates. And if you know anything, it's that Olivia has beef with Sabrina Carpenter because Driver's License was about the love triangle between her, Sabrina, and their former high school musical
Whose
co-star,
name we just don't know.
Joshua Bassett.
Oh, you know!
Only because I've been deep diving into this
Nice.
drama.
Well, also, and then Carpenter also wrote that song like, oh, because I like the boy.
And I love all these girls.
Yeah. I love them all.
I listen to all of their
Yeah.
music. So I am going to pick this up. I know I'm just giving you the timeline, so then when we start talking about it,
No, it's
you
important.
have
It's
the background.
important.
Which everything Taylor does career-wise is heavily calculated.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Taylor Swift knows what she's doing. She doesn't just...
Taylor Swift knows what she's doing 10 years from now at this time.
And Sabrina Carpenter is a wonderful artist in her own right. I love a lot of her songs, but Taylor Swift was taking a jab. And it's like, we didn't know exactly why.
You're saying that like it's a fact.
I'm saying that retroactively myself,
Right.
because of the information I've stumbled on now. I would say, I mean, obviously it's allegedly, but in my mind, it's a fact that Taylor knew what she was doing. So
and you think Taylor did it to get revenge?
I mean, not revenge, but to throw it in her face.
Right.
Yes. A subtle jab.
Because she was dropped from the Grammy nomination.
Not only that, I think I'm going to circle back after I get to some of these lyrics, but
Because I'm a big motive girl and I need to know the motive to condemn.
And so there's a couple of things at play here. Like, although Taylor Swift is the biggest star in the world, like, she, A, doesn't know how long that's going to last for her. She, B, has been very public about wanting recognition from her peers, which is awards and things like that. And C, she doesn't know if Olivia is going to be a big hit from here on out. Like, I would be threatened by Olivia as well if Olivia skyrocketed the way she did.
I don't think Taylor's vindictive like that, though. That's my opinion.
Okay.
That's my opinion. Towards other women.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
So then on June 30th, of 2023, Vampire is released, which is Olivia's sophomore album. So in her Grudge lyrics, which is what people are hypothesizing is about Taylor Swift, Olivia writes, "I have nightmares each week about that Friday in May. One phone call from you and my entire world was changed." So that Friday in May is after her album was released. So it's I'm putting together that after her album was released, Taylor called her direct and was like, "Hey, this song is also inspired by me. Like, I would like the credit," or like whatever. And my speculation is that from there, Olivia was like, "Okay," but then I bet the lawyers took over and there was like a back and forth about percentages and how much. And Olivia's probably like, "Well, I thought I did the right thing by giving you the credit and the money on the first song that was obvious that I took from you. But now this one, like, you know more than," in my opinion, it's like Taylor knows more than anyone how cutthroat the music industry is. She's been fucked over by so many people. And I think Olivia's like just excited to be in the game and she doesn't realize. And I feel like then, because I've been in a place where you like start arguing with a person's lawyer and my lawyer, and then it's like we're no longer talking direct, and then your feelings do get hurt and you feel like you're being crushed by a person because like they're trying to protect themselves, but it's going through the lawyer and the language is kind of vicious. So she says, "Trust that you betrayed, confusion that still lingers, took everything I loved, her music, and crushed it between your fingers," because she feels like the world's criticizing it. She's now giving you the credit. What was once so special to her is now crushed between Taylor's fingers. "And I doubt you ever think about the damage that you did. You built me up to watch me fall. You have everything and you still want more." Which, like, how can you act like that's not her singing about Taylor Swift?
After like everything that's brought to light about all the things that happened and like specifically these lyrics, I can tell that this is probably about Taylor, and it makes me so fucking sad because there's another song where one of the lyrics is like,
I have those too. Okay. Don't you worry.
Because it like literally like my eyes are watering because I can only imagine the pain of your hero, the person who you looked up to and aspired to be, being so fucking mad at you. I know a lot of people are like, "Darling, she's your nightmare dressed as a daydream," because she was Olivia Taylor's biggest fan and she was publicly her biggest fan. And so it does feel a little like feudy to me. Who are those two actresses in real life? I can't remember their name. But it's like, so she said, "I try to be tough, I try to be mean, but even after all this, you're still everything to me." That's what kills me.
And it's like right now the Eras Tour is bigger than ever. Everywhere Olivia looks, Taylor's right there, and it's like she's still everything to me, but like I'm so hurt and bothered by how everything went down. And so then I started going back and looking in Vampire, which was her first solo off of the album that just was released. Some of the lyrics are, "I should have known it was strange. You only come out at night."
This is your
my, I don't know if people put this together yet on the internet or not, but that's midnight. So she's talking about Vampire, like actually, like Taylor's always talking about like on her tour, even like, "I like to write songs about the middle of the night during the middle of the night." And because she's so famous, like she kind of has to live her night or life in the middle of the night. So it's like, to me, it's like she's kind of talking about Taylor Swift as the vampire. She goes, "The way you sold me for parts and sunk your teeth into me, bloodsucker, fame fucker, bleeding me dry, stealing all of her royalties like a goddamn vampire." She says in the song, "Every girl I ever talked to told me you were bad, bad news. You called them crazy. God, I hate the way I called them crazy too. You're so convincing. How do you lie without flinching?" And then what gets even crazier is this music video takes place at what seems to be the Grammys. And all of this kind of circulates from the Grammys. Like Olivia, like it comes to a head. Like Taylor wants the percentage, allegedly, from the phone call that I'm reading from the previous lyrics. And then Olivia wins all the Grammys, which is something Taylor wants. I know Taylor has Grammys, but it's like, you know. And so then this music video also takes place at the Grammys. But what's the craziest part? I went to the lyric video, and this is what's going to be a callback to what was before. The lyric video, the pieces in it are rings that say Guts, which is her album name.
Like the ring Taylor gave her.
The ring Taylor gave her that was so important to her that she talked about in so many outlets.
And constantly wore it.
And Olivia's cover art for this album is her wearing rings that say Guts. And like the rings are the focal point. Guts, to like have guts to go up against, I mean, this is my theory. Guts like going up against the biggest pop star in the world. And then in the music video, the lyrics write out on a handwritten note, which is what she said Taylor had given to her. There's
flowers.
which Taylor had given her flowers, and then at the bottom is red lipstick, which like Taylor's famously
Olivia
known for
Rodrigo
red lipstick.
also wears red lipstick.
Oh, but probably inspired by Taylor
Right,
Swift. And so I just thought it was crazy. Like her digs in these songs, if they are about Taylor Swift, is so insane. The ring things are so like, to me, it
makes me feel
palpable.
It makes me feel so shitty because one of the things I've always loved about Taylor Swift is how she's a woman that supports other women.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big fucking bummer to me that she would do this so gnarly to a girl coming up.
Well, and maybe Taylor Swift didn't think it was as gnarly as it was. Maybe Taylor was like, "Hey,
sure."
And we're no. I understand what you're saying. I think I've been more so anti-Taylor in seeming anti-Taylor in all of this. I love Taylor Swift.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like maybe Taylor didn't even know. Maybe it was like Taylor did call her and say like, "Hey, I want some credit for this." And then the lawyers went back and forth, and that's when like the legalities got Olivia Rodrigo feeling some type of way. And then once Olivia shot all the way up, like she felt alienated from Taylor because there was no more back and forth between them publicly. And it felt like she was being erased from something that was so big to her. So I'm saying maybe it wasn't even huge moves on Taylor's part that Taylor made for Olivia to feel this strongly. But how could you not about your idol? And if some of these things she writes are true, it's just so crazy because it would mean like, yes, Taylor has this public persona, but if what Olivia's saying is true and about Taylor, every girl I talked to told me you were bad news. You called them crazy. And God, I hate the way that I called them crazy too, because you're so convincing. How can you lie without flinching? And so Olivia, the last like big point on this is Olivia did confirm that this album isn't a breakup album. She said, I was so green about writing this album. I was so green about as to how this music industry worked, the litigious side, meaning all of these royalties and songwriting credits. She says, I just feel like now I know so much more about the industry and I feel better equipped in that regard. It wasn't something I thought too much about. It's so much more about growing up and finding your roots in the world. I was 19, had all the zeist for life, but also was in this industry for the first time that can be kind of alluring. Oh, there's all of these exciting people, exciting things, all these fancy shiny new toys. So I think she like got sucked into that and then felt like she was cranked out by the machine, which I don't think that's dissimilar to how Taylor felt in a lot of ways, in a lot of instances in her career, because I do think Taylor has been fucked over time and time again.
Also, I don't know the songs, but I know that Taylor, I think, has some lyrics where it's like, or maybe Olivia has these in her lyrics where it's like, no one has the, you know, shiny glow as like a 17-year-old girl, you know?
A lot of people are putting the comparisons in both. There's just so much that kind of points to this being what a lot of Olivia's songs are about.
Yeah.
And
it's almost undeniable.
Yes.
I'm hoping it's the two of them working together in a PR stunt of the century because I want girls to help girls and I'm tired of girls calling other girls crazy. And can't we all just get along like back in middle school?
And I just feel like,
mean girls.
How could Taylor not be fuming now that like Olivia has kind of set fire to all of her feelings publicly?
And I refuse to hate Taylor just because of that.
I'm not going to hate Taylor. I think Taylor feels justified in whatever she's done for whatever had gone down.
Credit is owed for the inspiration.
But it did get me thinking back to like her feud with Katy Perry, which I do kind of also feel Taylor was in the wrong about. And I
don't know about that feud.
You don't?
No.
It was what our first advice though was ever about.
Oh and my God, you're right.
And it's what Bad Blood was inspired by.
Right.
So
I'm an idiot.
Katy Perry's tour finished. Taylor Swift's tour started, and Taylor had like these dancers had auditioned for Taylor's tour. They booked Taylor's tour and they asked Katy, they said, hey, you're not touring right now, but Taylor is touring. Can we go on her tour? And Katy said, yeah, but I have an album coming out in about a year. So then my tour cycle will be like a year and a half after that. So like write in your contract, if you want to come back to my tour, that you can leave with a 30 days notice at any time. A year and a half later, Katy reaches out to them and says, hey, I'm starting up tour again. I'm just putting out fillers to see like if you guys want to dance on my tour. If not, no worries. They go and talk to Taylor Swift's management. They're fired the next day. And then Taylor like kind of shuns Katy Perry. She won't talk to Katy about it. Katy's like, I try calling her. She won't answer my phone. Then she releases Bad Blood, which is like a music video filled with stars that's anti-Katy Perry. And I'm just thinking, if I'm Katy Perry sitting at home watching a music video thinking all these Hollywood stars agree with her and hate me about like stealing her dancers, which like
they probably didn't know.
But and that's what I was thinking too. They probably didn't know, but also at the same time, it's just like Katie goes on James Corden and he's asking her about it. And she's like, I've tried so many times to talk to her. She doesn't want to talk to me about it. She just wants to release the song about it. And then Katy Perry did eventually go on to release her own song about it, which was Swish Swish. But it's like,
But what are the lyrics to Swish Swish? You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
Right. No.
I didn't mean. I mean, I didn't.
I'm not anti-Taylor in any way. I think she's the most insane businesswoman in the world. And I think to be an incredible businesswoman and as successful as she is, she has to make cutthroat decisions because that's what any CEO has to do.
Yeah.
But
never yield such power. You forget to be polite.
and God, I love her. But I'm just saying,
so much.
like, it just is. It is what it is. And we'll never know. Like, maybe Olivia was more sensitive than the events that
And I love
transpired.
Olivia, dude, because I got my idea for my fucking script at Taylor Swift with you, mad inspired by Taylor Swift, mad empowered by Taylor Swift, and then I put on Guts, and it's like, well, my whole script just opened up from that. So I'm feeling it from all the ladies, and in my world, they can't all wear crowns, and everyone is still friends, and we're all just waiting in a kiddie pool in my backyard drinking fake champagne with strawberries in it.
And for me, it's not as much about taking sides as it was fun for me to play detective and look into all of the clues and kind of see what both of these girls are saying. I mean, we'll see what Taylor does. I mean, I know, like, with even if Scooter Braun's in the wrong, you know, like, Taylor is behind the scenes masterminding his demise, which fine, she ruined his life, or he tried to ruin her life, which then turned out to be the best thing ever for her because she's re-recording her albums. I wish success for all these people. I love all these people. I follow all these people. I'm a fan of all of these people. It just is undeniable. And then when you start going back and looking at the music videos and the lyric videos for Olivia's most recent work, you're just like, whoa, watching with eyes wide open.
And it's great, by the way. It's beautiful. I love it. It's I'm into it. I really like what she's doing in this world.
Okay, well, I guess we can save some of these other hot topics for a different show. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode. It was kind of niche. Like, I started with selling the OC.
I had a mental breakdown.
And then I took you guys on like a 30-minute Olivia Taylor journey.
Then we introduced the show.
Which, do you think they already know all the details about Olivia Taylor?
No, I think you broke this. We should probably release this right now. We should release it tonight.
The timeline was from glamour.com.
Oh.
The other speculations...
They have been talking about this in the media for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So sorry if you're bored by the breakdown.
But you know what? I'm living for your self-confidence, and I really love the deep dive work you did here. I'm like, what are we, like an old school drama channel? Like, are we the drama?
I'm not trying to take anyone down.
No.
Just so you know.
But we are pointing out some things and some stuff.
We're just pointing out. I'm just doing a breakdown of what I have access to publicly, and behind closed doors are a whole different story.
Yeah,
and
he's keeping all that secret because he knows, because he's been behind the door.
No, Taylor would never invite me behind her doors.
No, not you, but maybe me.
Maybe her. Okay.
I have to pee so bad.
Do you think this was bad?
No, I think this was great.
Now I'm insecure that it's too niche.
You're wild.
Okay, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting our podcast. Make sure you're following all of us on social media. I have everyone linked in the description section below. We will see you right back here next week. I do want to try the pumpkin Krispy Kreme
Let's do
menu.
it. Let's fucking go.
And then and we're also going to try the pumpkin frosty at Wendy's.
Oh, shit.
That's coming out, but tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Everybody, we love you so much. Thanks for supporting our show. We'll see you next week. Goodbye. And that's the sip.
Ah.